Here to hang out, talk shop, talk Pokemon, talk life, chill, whatever. Anyways, we're going to wait for some peeps to get in here, but I have a small special treat. We will be opening something. I have been holding off on opening product. I've been sitting on all my booster boxes and the ETBs that I have left, and basically waiting for the right time to sell those because I'm rolling a lot of my money into vintage cards and like Grail chase cards. But we will be opening something mainly for my boy Austin. Shout out to Austin for always pushing me to open product. I have a good feeling about these 3 packs right here, right? We'll do something small tonight. We'll see what happens. Also, I do have one of those Charizard boxes with the cool figure and the packs on each side. I kind of felt like that would be a cool niche item to have in the future, but we might just go ahead and open one of those because it's going to be a pain in the ass to ship, and it just takes up a lot of space. And I kind of want the figurine, so we might open up that. But yo, how's everybody doing tonight? Chad, how are we doing? Turtle, how are we doing? I appreciate you looking into the charting on the Sabrina's Gengar and the Blaine's Charizard. It's good to know that those were similar at that time back then. But I also feel like despite the demand being similar, it's similar price points. I feel like people are also coming around to understanding why population matters. And I feel like they're coming around and they're saying the Gengar is way rarer than the Charizard. And Gengar has just as much of a cult following. I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. James, how are we doing? How are you doing tonight? Are you going after anything? T Beastie, how are you doing tonight? Are you going after anything? What are you collecting lately? What are you doing? What are your plays? What are your investments? Just whatever you guys are doing. Feel free and feel open enough to talk about whatever you're doing. Austin Dutra, are you worried about modern PSAs dropping in value with all this PSA stuff going on? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I appreciate that. That's a great question. No, I'm not worried. I think PSA is going to keep chugging along. I think a lot of longtime collectors are either going to be burnt out from PSA or they're going to be like me. They've just been collecting slabs for so long or for long enough to amass a large collection where it's too late to stop. I don't think you have anything to worry about. I think the issue with modern PSA prices falling for modern cards is going to be just because population, period. It doesn't matter as much when there's a really high demand for modern. I love this topic. I love talking about it because I also enjoy modern cards. I don't enjoy them enough to supporting some of the crazy prices that we're seeing today, but I get it. I get that it's more popular. It might be more of a fan favorite compared to vintage stuff. And people coming in now, there are people genuinely that are like, I don't like vintage. I only like the modern stuff. So where are those people going to go? They're going to go nowhere. They're going to specialize in modern and they're going to buy up modern supply. And then there's people that just don't touch vintage but are building positions of modern that are buying up a lot of modern cards. For instance, if I were to do that, it would probably be the modern Salamence EX. And it's why cards, like some cards are just never going to fall too far in value because people like myself, I'm focused on vintage right now, but people like myself have enough means to say, you know what, I'm going to start buying every single Salamence EX that pops up on the market below $300. I'm going to just start buying them all up. I have 18 right now. That's nothing, right? There's like 6,000, 7,000 graded right now. But imagine if I bought 1 or 2 a week all year and I amassed about 100 a year and I did that for about 5 years. I could have like 500, 600 copies of Salamence EX for, it's not chump change, but assuming the price doesn't move too much, I could amass a ton of those and have a large position of the entire population of them in PSA 10, which would be, I love that card, and I honestly think it's undervalued, and I honestly think at 250, that card is a buy. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about modern. There's so many people that are still super bullish in it, but I think if the tide turns, if the economy changes, right, I'm more worried about the macro economy affecting our beloved hobby. I've had the best luck opening Mega base. I would love to have found some Mega at the store. That would have been cool. BT, oh, it's good. How are you doing tonight? BC, TCG, how's it going, bro? What's good? Charlie Fix, how we doing? Turtle, I mean, population should always matter, and that there's only so many ever on the market. Any sort of low pop hype can be artificial, temporary. The fact that Zard kept up was 100% from demand, and that's just wild to me. I just can't believe you can see the auctions where it's 7K, and this is when I think we're almost running out of steam in this market, and then people are like, nope, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, $13,000. It's just nuts. I think that Charizard is going to drop, but we'll see. Charizard has an amazing track record. BC, I just scooped a PSA 10 gold Palkia from Crown Zenith. Very nice. I saw Ern's PSA return, and they were pretty hard on his gold cards. Yeah, I think PSA is being hard in general, and that's why I've taken a break. I'm not done with PSA. I still have quite the large grading pile right here of cards that I want to grade with PSA. In fact, we'll just do a quick run through of the cards that I want to send off to PSA. We got some awesome Ampharos, a bunch of hollow Ampharos. I love these. I think that one was Unseen Forces. This is the Aquapolis Ampharos. They're probably going to be 7s or 8s. And I think I've settled with the fact that, you know what, maybe I'm probably going to get like 5, 6s, 7s on a lot of these, but I'm probably still going to submit them because a lot of these cards were just so cheap when I did buy them that it really doesn't matter too much as long as I like the card and I'm happy with like a 7 or a 6 and a slab. That's fine. This Dragonite's going to be sick. Dude, this is one of my favorite Dragonites. I love the Expedition Dragonite. We got a nice minty fossil, Jungle Flareon. We have a nice minty fossil first edition Raichu. I think this will get a 6 or a 7, which would still be dope. I love this card. We got a first edition Haunter that I've still kept. Some of these I really should have put on the market, but I like them way too much. There was a first edition Scyther that I feel like I should have just went ahead and graded that, even though it would have got a 4 or a 5. We have a nice minty Dragonite, a nice minty Rockets Blastoise, which, holy crap, the population on some of these cards and first edition and unlimited are just wild. We have this really cool Dragonite here, this nice level X. We've got a nice Hidden Legends reverse Ghastly to go along with my Gengar crowd. We got a really nice, is that EX Dragon? No, this is the Stormfront. What am I thinking? There is a really cool EX Dragon, I think, Charmeleon secret rare, but this is the Stormfront secret rare. We've got a nice Houndoom in here from Skyridge. Oh boy, we have a Unseen Forces. Is that Unseen Forces? Yes, another Unseen Forces Houndoom. Unseen Forces is pretty goated. We've got a nice Neo Rev Houndoom right here. It's definitely a trend here with Houndoom. We got a Houndour right here. And we've got this really cool modern Pikachu that I picked up for a cup for I think $2 or $3, which is nuts. We have this full art that I wanted to grade, which I might just not. We have this cheap Gengar from 151 that I think could get a 10. That would be cool just to have a Komiya artwork. We have this One Piece card. And then I have a bunch of Salamence, a couple more Salamence that I still need to send in. So yeah, that's what I have in the grading pile. But yeah. And we'll open up this blister here shortly. I want to wait just for a couple more people to pop in here. Give it some time to heat up since it hasn't even been 10 minutes yet. But yeah, grading's been tough. Randy, how we doing, Randy? How many population your new Sabrina Gengar first edition? So, a little bit of flex time. Also, Austin, if you're in here, let me know that you're in here. I would love to open this and have you be watching the stream. So we have my Sabrina Gengars. All right, so I think there are roughly, I think there's like 1,000 Sabrina Gengar in PSA 9. There's about 3,000 of these ever graded. And then there's only 112 in the PSA 10. So this guy right here is very rare, very scarce, low-key. You're not going to see very many of these soon. Once those sellers on eBay get those copies sold, this card is going to be non-existent because from there it's probably going to be like a 20K card. If this market doesn't cool down at all, which is why I think if you can get yourself a 9, wait for the market maybe to cool down a little bit, get yourself a 9. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, these copies are so close in condition. Like, they're so close in condition. They're not very different at all. That's just like keeping it real. This is an old Cert 10, right? This is a 2-3 Cert 10. And I guess I didn't really talk about the fact that I bought an old Cert copy. But I've had some great luck with old Cert copies. Obviously, I was prepared to have to sell this card or even negotiate maybe sending it back and paying a small fee and paying for shipping. But I'm happy with the copy. I will be keeping it. But it is very much a subjective game here. My 9 does have some obvious white spots on the top edge, but like the only thing I can really see on my 9 is it has like these 2 white specks near the top. But it's, dude, it's so subjective. It's crazy, which is why I want to keep my 9 because it's a really strong copy and I hope I can sell it down the road. And my 9, I guess, will offset the cost of a 10. So much to a point I would hope that it pays for like half of the cost of the 10, right? So I'm basically banking that this Sabrina's Gengar in a PSA 9 will be a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 card in the long term, in the future. When I sell that card, when I sell this, it will offset this a couple $1,000s, bringing the overall net price of this copy down, which would help out a ton right now. But in fact, yeah, I'd probably wait till like $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 on the 9 to sell it because I need it to be very close to offsetting the cost of my 10. Dude, the new Cert 9s are such good value, guys. They're such good value. Charizard has been much more mass appeal than Gengar, even if the fan base is super dedicated. True. We have these ebbs and flows where it's kind of like a fad where people really dive into Gengar. I just feel like with the Skyridge Gengar hype and all of the other Gengars really taking off, I feel like the price is justified where it's at. Maybe it can go further up. Maybe it can go further south. Maybe the entire market can go further south. Do you have any Jirachi slabs? I feel like I've been asked this before. This feels like deja vu. I do not have any Jirachi slabs, but Jirachi is dope. Mr. Chop, how we doing? We should buy out vintage sealed. Dude, how do you even like afford vintage sealed right now? Like, I guess it's not too different than me buying slabs. It's like, Orion, you could have bought a vintage booster box for 20 grand, but you bought 2 cards. So I could have done something like that again, but I feel pretty burned from my last base set opening. I'm just going to be frank. That has worried me a little bit. The fact that not one of the cards that I really wanted did I get. We didn't get Blastoise. We didn't get Charizard. We got a Venusaur, but it got an 8 when it really should have at least gotten a 9. I feel like they were really harsh on my grades, but there must be something that I missed. And my eyes aren't the best. There's a reason I wear glasses. So that may be an ironic thing with me grading is that I can't see that well. But I feel like there's still no excuse if I'm wearing my glasses. But it's made me doubt myself. But I'm going to keep up with it. I am going to get back to grading. I'm not going to cancel my PSA membership if anybody's wondering. What's the price on a PSA 10 right now? So I need to make it public information as much as possible that I got this copy for $13,000. But the price right now, I think for the cheapest copy is $16,000 for this card. And there's no sales data to show that it sold for 13 to me. So that's going to be a problem with trying to bring the market down. So buying privately, if you do want the market to continue rising, if I were really an investor, bro, that would be my strategy. I would not tell anybody that I'm buying these cards. I would keep it to myself. I would keep the sales to myself, and I would say, please keep me anonymous. Please don't tell people that I bought this card from you. And then I would watch people overpay on the market, and then boom, I'd be up on the card that I just bought. But I want to let people know that the market is trending down, I think, and people are willing to take a little bit less than what they should probably. And so that's a good indicator. But the Fed rates did get cut today. That will impact the macro economy in a big way. Some people think it's already been priced in. I don't. I think it's going to affect the macro economy. I think people are going to have more money to spend, which means Pokemon is probably still going to keep running into early 2026, which is interesting because I was thinking it was going to slow down. Charizard currently has double the pop. 230 versus 104. Not sure what it was in 2023. Are we talking about Blaine's Charizard? Because that can't be right. That cannot be right. We must be talking... Oh, we're talking about Fire Red Leaf Green. Okay, cool. So in September 2023, the Charizard Fire Red Leaf Green was around 4,100. Gengar was around 2,250. Charizard currently has double the pop. Interesting. Okay, so kind of you're saying it's a similar situation that Charizard will time and time again outpace Gengar probably. I guess what would be interesting to me is to see if the Skyridge Gengar, to see if really it's going to be big box gaming probably is going to be the seller probably to push that Skyridge Gengar. He's going for $40,000 right now on the Skyridge Gengar. If Skyridge Gengar hits 40,000, I wonder if that is going to push up Crystal Charizard from Skyridge. That would be interesting. But I think it would be a big statement to see Skyridge Gengar get close to that Crystal Charizard price, along with being far lower pop, about half. But I guess it'll be the same narrative over and over again. If the Gengar is going up, that means the Charizard is due to go up too. And that's an interesting, like, economic, investing indicator that, like, if Gengar goes that high in the set, then that same set, if there is a Charizard card that's a big chase card, that's like a good card, even if it's not good, right? It's Charizard. That card is probably gonna be double what the Gengar is. So that's an interesting point to think about. And I wonder if we can see that in the Mega era with Phantasmal Flames and this Mega Charizard from Mega Dream, right? The Mega Gengar from Mega Dream, right? If Mega Gengar, fetches $1,000, I think we can go ahead and assume that Phantasmal will be worth $2 or $3 grand probably in comparison, being the big megas of this era. I really think the Mega Gengar and the Mega Charizard are probably going to be some of the biggest cards we get in this era. It's probably way too early to say that, but I think we're going to look back and be like, they were right there, man. They were right there. Thank you for that information. Lamar's, did you get anything from Walmart tonight? Not tonight, but I did have this sitting around. I have one other thing sitting around, a Charizard box. So it has a really cool toy in it, so we might open it so I can at least have the toy. I doubt I'm going to pull anything. User, what set do you recommend for a beginner with low capital? If we're going to go with vintage, I would say, like, you could go with anything in vintage. Just go for PSA 9 or maybe even just PSA 8, PSA 7. If you want to go with modern, it seems like a lot of the modern sets are fun right now. I mean, what do you guys think? Guys, feel free to jump in right now. Journey Together should be cheaper on the secondary market, but it's not. I thought that this would dump, and it really hasn't yet. So I would like to buy some more Journey Together to open. Really wanting to push more vintage PSA slabs. Was able to find a Japanese Blaine Zard with a swirl. What are some other good vintage slabs that won't break the bank? Japanese is a great direction to go in if you are trying to budget for vintage cards. You cannot beat Japanese. You're not going to beat the quality, the consistency, and the pricing, the savings, the value. It's all there with Japanese. I mean, a lot of people could say, Orion, why didn't you just collect Japanese? You would be able to go after all these exclusive cards like Masaki Gengar, and then it wouldn't be so weird getting into all the Chinese exclusives. What's up, babe?
Did you shower?
No? Not yet. Okay. I'll be out in a bit.
No, it's fine. I'm going to take a shower.
I mean, I started it. We'll probably go for an hour.
That's fine. I'm going to take a shower.
Okay. It's always already priced in. E5, how we doing? Just subbed. Love your info and transparency. You got it. And I appreciate that. Turtle, is Austin in here? Can somebody get Austin in here? Austin, shoot a hand up, because I don't want to hold everybody up. I want to go ahead and get these packs open. See if there's anything in there, okay? Because now that it's on the table, now you're giving me the itch. Somebody get Austin. Mega Evolution is the most fun to open in my opinion. The IR, SIR, QC quality is great in that set. Okay, nice. So you can actually grade a decent chunk of your hits. Okay, so you've been doing that a lot lately. Are you finding this product in stores? Because we're not seeing anything in Charlotte. I'm very curious if you're finding this stuff in stores. Appreciate it, Turtle. Yeah, we're about to get this ball rolling. So, and then what I might do is open up a booster box and just piece it apart each week. Do like a couple packs a week just to shoot the shit. Open a couple packs on stream. We will see. Yeah, is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or stuff that you have on your mind, or stuff that you've wanted to collect lately? Questions that you have about certain cards or about cards that I have. I'm open to whatever. If you want to talk about stock market a little bit, what's going on with that, what's going on with the rate cuts, what's going on, is money about to cycle back into tech? That would be amazing for me. A lot of my spending right now is honestly hinged on the fact that the market is going to rally soon. So probably naive to think that we're actually going to get a Santa rally, but hoping for it. My GF's dad keeps checking the vending machines and finds them randomly. Damn, dude. That's fire. That's fire. The Shinru, what's up? Was good to see you over Thanksgiving weekend.
Who I found at the top of the stairs.
Cleo, what are you doing?
Her accomplice.
Well, are you going to bring her over here?
No, yeah.
So Cleo has some small tumors, and so we're going to get her tumors hopefully checked out within the next couple weeks. So, yeah.
Girl.
It's not fair. It was like such a cute little precious dog. For her to get tumors is not fair.
I heard her crying on the stairs. Should I take her in the shower with me?
But yeah, yo, sorry. Yeah, that was great over Thanksgiving week. I don't know why he's doing it for us, but we're having fun. Hell yeah. Can't stay but wanted to drop in. You are all good, my man. Metal Drummer, yo, it's good. I appreciated your comment earlier today, kind of addressing some of my concerns with crypto. And I feel like if a lot of people are jumping in from crypto, they're going to jump back out and be very irrational. But obviously, we can't know that. It's all speculation. How much money has been funneled in from the stock market or crypto and has gone into Pokemon, and how much of it is going to stay in Pokemon, I think is a major question that I have. So, yeah, I'm eagerly waiting to see what happens in the stock market tomorrow. Like, I'm on the edge of my seat. It's the end of December is coming. People got to either cut losses or report profits. So I'm really hoping that we end this year on a good note, because I've had such a good run recently with like day trading. And I know it's like, dude, you can't day trade. You can never beat the market. And I genuinely believe that. Same thing with Pokemon. Like, I don't think you can beat it. I think it's just better to be in it in the long haul. And usually that's what I do. But QuantumScape lately has just been so volatile that it's been easier to just try and play it. But yeah, dude, I hope we have like a Santa's rally. I hope it's a strong economy. And in general, I hope that this country has a strong economy going into 2026. I'm going to open a Phantasmal booster box on Christmas. Damn, that's going to be sick. I hope you get that Charizard, that Mega Charizard. Drummer, yes, they will. Crypto bros are very emotional. However, many of them will buy the dip ultimately because they need a replacement for NFTs, which are never coming back. They're savvy investors, though, so they'll be able to wait for deep bottoms before they buy in hard. Yeah, whenever I see people right now with like insane collections lately, it seems like there's been a reoccurring trend with crypto investor. I see crypto in their bio and I immediately am like, oh God, no. Oh God. They had one big easy play and now they're crypto investors. And this is what we're dealing with in the hobby moving forward. Like, I feel like I'm not going to be able to compete with a lot of the big money that's going to come into this hobby. And that's, guys, a lot of the reason why I feel like I can't even be rational and waiting for prices to fall, because There's going to be so much fierce competition. So every day it seems like there's less and less of these cards on the market. Right now there's two Neo Genesis Lugias, and one of them is in 3 people's carts right now for $7,500. So it's tough to say things are going to head back down and not just keep on heading up. Kevin O'Leary just said on the news outlet that they're putting 5% in the collectible market. Big money is here for Pokemon cards. Now, I've seen people that are in the investment space talking about the collectible market, but does the collectible market necessarily mean Pokemon specifically? Because I feel like a lot of those big money players are really going to be more into, basketball cards, rookie cards, just like valuable sports memorabilia. And I feel like Pokemon is more for the guy like me that grew up like watching Dragon Ball Z and Yu-Gi-Oh! And like very much like nostalgic over this stuff. But I wouldn't call myself, right, a big investor. And I just like wonder about the demographic of the type of person that wants to buy into Pokemon and collect Pokemon. How did they grow up? Because I feel like it's really hard for someone who grew up in a traditional household around, mainly sports and I don't know, just finance bros. I find it really hard for like those guys to genuinely get into Pokemon. So I feel like that'll be kind of a fad, but I don't know. LH, I feel like being in someone's cart. Don't mean anything. Like something I suspect that seller is legit, just putting their own card in their cart of one of their burner accounts. Fair. That's a really good point. Because I have friends that actually do this, and my wife does it. She like puts a bunch of stuff in her shopping cart online. I feel like because I know this to be the case with friends of mine, I know that people genuinely put it in their cart and they're saving for it, and they're like, okay, in 2 weeks, if this thing is still on the market, I am buying it. I'm setting this goal. And so, I don't know. It just makes me feel like the clock is ticking. And I have a Lugia that I need to get rid of, but I can't sell it because there's a cheaper copy on the market. And so this is what I'm dealing with now is I'm like, okay, when the big auction people like Z&G Emporium pop up on the market with a cheaper copy, I have one of 2 options. I'm either going to sell my copy under that copy, no, or, and this is going to be a major problem in Pokemon moving forward on a large scale, because I'm doing it just to get into a different copy because I have a problem with mine. Most people are doing it to make money, but which, more power to you. I would rather make my money in a more traditional way. But I have to now consider buying that copy that I don't even necessarily want right now because I shouldn't be spending money right now, even though I keep burning money like there's no tomorrow. I need to get that copy off the market so that mine is appealing again. So, that's what we're dealing with moving forward in Pokemon. That is the mentality that I think a lot of sellers are going to have. Yeah, it's going to make shit wild, man. It's going to make it super competitive. But yeah, LH, to that point about the cart, I think that's valid. I think, a lot of times it just doesn't really mean anything. But Turtle, it's everything. Bailey, yo, from Scotland. That is super cool. Greetings from Scotland. My wife really wants to go to Scotland, so that's dope. Maybe one day we will. Anecdotally, crypto bros love Pokemon. They're our age. I don't know how old you are, but I grew up with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that. So I'm 31. Dude, I'm getting really into Dragon Ball GT. So we didn't have cable as a kid. So like lately I've been on a Dragon Ball GT binge, and I'm going to watch all of Dragon Ball all the way through again. It's actually really fascinating. Like learning, like rewatching and learning all the lore as an adult. It's great. They don't need nostalgia to invest. That's very true, which makes it even more parabolic or explosive is when people really don't care about it and are even more detached emotionally. It allows them to be better investors, better traders with Pokemon. I guess in the long term, this is a net positive for Pokemon still, because collectors will always have value in what they have. And, it's very validating for people that have been collecting for a long time, myself included. But I always just feel like the more expensive things get, the less sustainable things get. So it's hard to accept. Austin, do you predict Rayquaza cards in general, both vintage and modern, might go up with that new set on the rise? I think personally that Rayquaza is one of the best Pokemon designs of all time, and I think Rayquaza in general, it's just like Gengar to me. It's just like Charizard. It's just like Pikachu. It's another mascot that it's highly respected by me, and by most people. So in general, I think Rayquaza is going to rise in price across the board. All kinds of Rayquaza cards. Um, but yeah, the Mega Rayquaza could definitely have an impact. But I also feel like people that like Megas, that doesn't exactly like, I don't know. I'm still warming up to Megas. So I feel like just because you like Rayquaza doesn't mean you're going to like Mega Rayquaza. I think Mega Rayquaza is cool. I had 2 copies of the vintage Mega Rayquazas, or I guess we could say semi-modern Mega Rayquazas from the Sun and Moon era, or XY era. Yeah, XY era, I think. But I don't exactly like miss it. Like, I feel kind of stupid about the price of what those are at right now. But other than that, like, why hold on to something that I don't entirely like? So for me, I kind of decided maybe Megas weren't the thing for me. I'm still into modern very much though. I still think the Mega generation we're in is cool, but it's giving me a chance to maybe take a break from Pokemon, from modern Pokemon, and focus on my vintage goals and then come back. Because there's so many illustrations that I still want to get my hands on. I think I like the illustrations right now more than I like the SIR selection. Um, Drummer, fact is the dollar is devaluing and nothing stops that train. So yeah, the inflation is seriously the elephant in the room right now. As long as they maintain relevance, we'll go up. Pokemon cards included, Bitcoin included, fine art included, etc. Beautiful. I love that. You know what's interesting? Just now before I went to bed, and guys, we are still going to open this journey together, but one of our fans, subscribers, was asking if we were going to open anything tonight in our Discord, and I was like, all I got is this. So I wanted to at least do him the courtesy of waiting a little longer before we open that up, guys. I apologize. I was going to open that, but usually our streams are just talking in general anyways, so I don't think it makes much of a difference. What I do want to say is I was putting my daughter to sleep just now, and she's like, I want to see Pokemon videos. And that kind of shocked me because I don't push Pokemon on my kids. My kids see me dabble with my cards, but what happens in this room stays in this room. I don't leave it in the rest of the house. I don't open up stuff in front of them in the house. I don't, and maybe I should, but I just don't. I choose to have them live their own lives. And also, I feel like this is a very consumerism controlled, materialistic hobby. And as much as I love it, I do fear about getting my kids involved with it and what it will do to them and their valuing of things. But it would probably be a net positive. Anyways, all that to say is that my daughter asked to watch a Pokemon video. And every night she asks to watch videos with animals. But tonight she asked to watch a Pokemon video. Anyways, we're watching all these AI created videos, right? And my wife is scrolling on the reel, and we're both laying on the ground, next to her in bed, and we're showing her these AI videos with realistic, National Geographic version of Pokemon. And it's fascinating and how realistic they're able to make this stuff with people just making AI, chat, GPT, whatever. They're just creating this off the rip, off the hip, shooting off the hip. Is that the right? I don't know. They're just making this stuff. And I think, if people can just make this stuff and that's spreading, and my kid wants to watch it before going to bed, which shouldn't be watching anything AI reels before going to bed. But anyways, that's what she wanted. So we're looking at this AI stuff with cute Pikachu, and it's showing Cubone and his whole sad story. And it's showing a Gyarados that looks very realistic. And I'm like, there's going to be Pokemon movies that are very live action oriented in the future, and there already have been, right? Mewtwo Strikes Back, Detective Pikachu. There have been some really great renditions of newer Pokemon films, and that stuff is going to keep coming down the pipeline. And I think the next big film we get, as much as I don't think the films are really influencing the market at all, I think the next big film we get is going to influence the market a little bit, and I think it's going to be badass. And you know what, guys? I cannot wait to get more Pokemon movies. I love the anime. I love watching the old episodes, but I want to see some live action Pokemon movies. Like, let's keep Detective Pikachu going. Like, I don't care. Just give us something, please. I'm so tired of like not getting, a real piece of content to absorb from their franchise. They're making so much money. Just make a dope Pokemon film already, okay? Get some great actors, make an incredible film. It's going to go bananas. That's what I want to see. I think that will spark a lot of interest continuing into the hobby and its growth, is like keeping people entertained and like interested and driven into the lore and the story behind Pokemon. And maybe even take it back to a live action film that starts with Ash and Pallet Town and all of the original episodes, but kind of put into a movie saga. It would be incredible. And you could even do a remake of the original movies too in live action. It would be incredible. I mean, do we agree? Do we not agree? Hypothetically, if someone offered you to trade all of your cards for a Grail of Grails equivalent value, like a Trophy Pikachu and an Illustrator, would you do it? It really depends what the cards are. If it's a PSA 10 Charizard, probably. If it's a PSA 9 Illustrator Pikachu or PSA 9, I couldn't afford that. It wouldn't be worth it. A PSA 8 Illustrator Pikachu. I would definitely consider it, but I've said this before in a video that I made recently, is that I like the diversity that I have in my collection, and my collection's not even that diverse. I've got modern, I've got ultra modern, and I've got vintage, and I've got some subcategories like the Shinings, the Crystals, the Gold Stars, the first edition base set, which I'm close to completing all of it, but I'm still so far away. What I mean to say, though, is that I do have a good bit of diversity in my collection, and I like it to stay that way. I like to have a lot of different stuff. But yeah, I mean, if I came into a really, really cool, neat opportunity, and it's not just buying a 10 of a Grail card, like a PSA 10 Lugia or a PSA 10 Gold Star Rayquaza. It's like, is that card actually like the cleanest copy I've ever seen of its kind? Because I've seen a lot of 10s. I have a lot of 10s. Almost all of them have some form of imperfection or small flaw. I mean, it's a trading card. It's not made in perfection, right? And English quality is tougher than Japanese. But for the most part, if it was a genuinely strong copy of the said trophy card, yeah, I would try and figure something out. Knowing how rare it is, knowing that I probably won't ever get a shot like that again. If a major collector decided they were switching priorities, they just didn't want to be in the hobby, and they had a PSA 10, whatever Grail, yeah, that would be an incredible opportunity. At the same time, like if it was an older cert and it was kind of chewed up and it didn't look that great, I'd be like, you know what? I like my 9s. I like my other cards. I'm good. So that's how I'd feel on that. It really depend on the card too. Because I definitely don't want to be one of those people that just buys it for the label. I want to make sure that it's a clean card. Jackson, what would you do if your daughter told you she wants to dress like Jinx? Absolutely not. You are not going out dressed that way. I don't know what they base Jinx off of, but it can't be good. There was an AI Jinx too, and I think all three of us were horrified by what AI Jinx actually looks like. Turtle, the AI Kyogre versus Groudon video was pretty dope. Dude, I love the like Nat Geo style AI. Like that, seeing stuff like that really keeps me like involved and engaged in Pokemon. So I would really love them to have a really artistic film. That would be so great. Live action Pokemon has to be big. I want the trainer lead battling film. And that's the other thing, like, it doesn't have to be about the storyline of Pokemon. And that's what I'm realizing. It's so much bigger than that. It's a world that some of us, like, wish we lived in. Like, it would be cool if we had these creatures roaming. as somebody that loves dinosaurs and the idea of like maybe someday we could resurrect them, right? Like the Jurassic Park movies, that would be insane. Um, but yeah, if they just had like a Nat Geo type film with Pokemon, you know how sick that would be? You know how many people would probably go to watch that? A lot. Even if it had like no actual like super good storyline, might get bad reviews, but people would still love it. Metal. Dude, Detective Pikachu was so good. It was the first live action video game movie I'd seen. Ryan Reynolds. And that's another thing. Ryan Reynolds is a great role for that. Like, they should continue with him. He's done a fantastic job with his fan base with Deadpool. They should definitely continue with Pokemon doing something. He's the funny guy. It doesn't get much better than that. I would love to get a live action though where we get an Ash character, we get a Misty character, Brock, all of the original gym trainers. That would be really cool. We get a Gary, we get a guy that we really really don't like, the opposition. That would be cool. Probably be really hard though to actually keep people in those roles for like a decade plus consistently. And and even with the anime, they eventually cycle Ash out, right? Which is crazy because they don't have to do that. Ash can get older and have kids that are similar. And like they could have carried on the generation that way. But instead, I guess they choose a different trainer. Like, nope, Ash doesn't have a family. He's a child forever. We forget about him. Like, I love how they didn't give us more on what happens with Ash. How fucking wild would it be if we got a live action with Ash? And he's grown with a family, and it's like I don't know, like almost like less of a PG version, that would be kind of interesting, even though they probably would never do that. But Detective Pikachu was a great go. Jackson, how high would it be with some background trainers live action Pokemon or some PokeTuber? I want to see some Henry Cavill play Ash. That would be great. Henry would set them straight, right? I think we were talking about that with The Witcher recently. Henry Cavill is such a genuine nerd, simultaneously Chad, that it would be awesome. Yeah, we were just talking about this for The Witcher. Austin, what's your all-time favorite card and why? Korokoro Mew might be mine. Hard to choose just one. Guys, if Austin doesn't come in here, I'm not going to open this because I don't know. I feel like I have to open it now, but right, I have to open this. I'm just going to feel bad. Okay, he's in here. All right, let's do it. Jackson, I stocked shelves at my grocery, and this woman was buying hams. Big Bon and hams, and asking me about them. And then she asks where the Pokemon cards are. I wasn't expecting that, as I don't work in the toys. In the toy section, but it was cool. She's getting it for her grandchild, I think. But funny to go from selling hams and where are your Pokemon cards. But yeah, Pokemon Snap live action would be great too. That's a fantastic idea. Pokemon Stadium live action. They could pick any actors they want for something like that. That would be nuts. Ash is growing up and he's Timothy Charles. Oh my god, dude. Charlemagne. Oh my god, dude. He would be great for that role. I think we can all agree that his performance in Dune was exceptional. He would be so awesome for that role. Seriously. Dude, I love that dude. He could play Ash down to a T, I think. And he could maintain that role for a long time because he looks like a kid while also like acting like one of the best adult actors out there. Coming out of retirement to face his biggest rival yet. Red, played by Tom Holland. This is great. I love where we're getting with this. Okay. All right. Let's open up this blister and see if we can pull something dope. It's been a long time since I opened something, so this is gonna definitely scratch that itch, and we'll have something for next week too. Nothing crazy again, but we will have something. I will say, there's nothing quite like opening Pokemon cards with no pressure, no one around, just sitting there by yourself, opening some cards. That is dope. I enjoy that as well. But it is nice to be here and It is a pleasure to get to open these up with you guys. All right, let's go ahead. Get this guy opened up first. Mads Mikkelsen as Giovanni. Oh, dude, that would be great. That would see now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. All right, let's see what we get, guys. I forget. Is it 3, 2? No, it's 1. It's 1, and I'm cooked. I didn't see what that was, but I know it can't be good. Beldam. Dagon. Oh, we got Bayonet. We got a Grimmsnarl. We got, I can't even make out what that guy is. Pangoro. We got Squawkabilly. Joltik. And, dude, we have a really nice Clefairy, actually. I didn't see what that was. I'm actually really happy with this. Lily's Clefairy. I think it's been so long that I've opened cards that I'm actually happy to just get a basic EX. This is nice. The centering is awful. It's not gradable. The back is flawless, but the centering is poopy. All right, look at that. Now, God, dude, imagine if we would have pulled Lily's Clefairy just now. Holy crap. But yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. We got a basic little EX. I have a couple EXs in a stack. I need to list those. Speaking of, I'll probably give away the rest of that bulk. Next time someone buys something from me off eBay, I'll just send that like I do. Orion is Gary. Orion is Gary. Orion is Gary. I would be Gary. I would rock Gary. I would play a great Gary. Damn it. How did you know that I actually respected Gary as a character? I'm like, dude, he's more competitive, bro. Do you want it badly enough, Ash? Because Gary clearly does. Okay. I named him Poopy in the games. That was his name, Poopy. All right. Starting it off with Squawkabilly. Ends Clink. We got this gorgeous Furret in his natural environment. We've got this Druddigon. That's actually a sick artwork of him. I would love to see that guy live action. I would love to see what he would look like. We've got the Alolan Golem, which looks quite ridiculous, guys. Excavalier. Okay, we've got Brox. What is that? Brox Scouting. It's cool to see him in a card. Okay, we've got, I forget what this guy is even called. Delmise. We got Delmise Reverse. Darumakin. What is his name? Darmanitan. I should know this by now, but. And we got a Dubwool. We got a Hops Dubwool. So nothing on that one. I love bug types. Bug catcher would be sick. It's a dual role, actually. You'd have to double as Mr. Mime. I could run it. I would receive an Emmy for that kind of role. You know that, right? If I had to play the dichotomy of the serious character and then just a random Mr. Mime scene, that would be Emmy worthy. Okay. Anthony, hey Ryan, what do you think of the Mirror Foil Reverse Hollow Full Art Pikachu from 25th anniversary? The Mirror Foil Reverse Hollow Full Art. Oh my gosh, you're talking about like the OG pick art, but featured as the full art, basically. I think that's what you're talking about. Phenomenal. I thought that card was phenomenal when it was worth pennies. I've always loved that card. It is phenomenal. It's great. Buy that card in PSA 10 and just don't think about it. It's a great card. Frankly, it's awesome. I love what they did with that card, man. As soon as I pulled those, I thought it was great. I actually looked at my Celebrations ETBs, and if they weren't so goddamn expensive right now, I would definitely have just said, let's just rip one of those bad boys. I got into this hobby through celebrations. That's the best kind of stuff to open right there. Honestly, celebrations and 151. Are there any Pokemon you see and forget exist? Oh man, a lot, dude. There's a lot of newer Pokemon that I just will never take up rent in my mind. Like never. A lot. Particularly with more difficult names to say, right? All right, we've got Carablast. We've got is that a what is that, a Kecleon? It's a really nice artwork for Kecleon. Ooh, this Torchic is nice. And I've seen this guy before from Journey. I like this Torchic a lot. It's a really nice little Torchic artwork. Okacheki. Okay, we got Wattrel. We got a trainer, Nathan. Let's see. Low Kicks, right? Perfect example of a Pokemon that would be forgettable for me. Low Kicks. Low Kicks. We got Combuskin. Fujimoto Gold. Yeah, this Combuskin's sick too. Goes great with that Torchic. Damn, I'm surprised there's not a crazy Blaziken in this set. Honestly, they should have done a crazy Blaziken for Journey. We got a Weezing reverse. And, oh, look at that. And we did get an illustration rare from that little 3-pack blister. We got a Furret. This is the second time that I've pulled Furret from this set. Got something behind it. And we got a Kilowattrel. Nice. Not good centering, but it's... Damn, it's... The back is flawless, too. I mean, then again, when I say flawless, I mean it still has a white speck because I'm blind. But there's the back. Unfortunately, there is the front. This guy is going to get listed for sure. Okay, well, we got a Clefairy EX and that Furret illustration rare. That's as good as it gets for opening up a blister randomly of 3 packs. That's as good as it gets. Sorry, guys. I couldn't pull something crazier. Sounds like an excuse. There's 1,024, only 150 real ones, so whatever the math is. I know every Pokemon through Gen 3, and then my knowledge drops off of a cliff, right? I feel very self-conscious about that, by the way. You know, it's been a while since we ripped when we were, when we ripped. You know, it's been a while when we're hyping up commons. That's true. That's very true. Jackson, are there any energy cards that are worth value? Like, not really, guys. If you want to chime in on that. The ones from Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Metal. That Furret is cute. Nice art card. Just tilt it to the side and say potential PSA 10. Yeah, no, for sure. We just like this. Potential PSA 10 for sure. For sure, I'm feeling that. I can't pull a centered card to save my life. Jackson, I wonder how many people open cards with gloves on and tweezers to reduce smudge and prints to get it to 10. You know what? I don't think there's that much to it, honestly. I don't think there's really that much to it. I think for the most part, people just rip packs and would rather do it with their own hands. And Turtles pointed out on that. It's kind of harder to handle it when you're wearing gloves. It's much more tactile. What's the word? Nimble, I guess you could say. Fragile, using your own hands. I probably sound ridiculous saying that just now, but that's okay. That's okay. What's the craziest thing you guys have pulled? What's the craziest thing you guys have pulled recently? If anybody's opened any packs recently, if you can even find packs. And Jake wears gloves? Really? Interesting. I had no idea it was that hard to get at Card Center. Fuck his Pokemon company's quality control this bad. Oh, it's bad. It's pretty bad. It's because you can feel if you're mishandling the card better. No, for sure. Mega Gardevoir EX. Yes, you did. You did just get that copy. Very interested if you get lucky enough for that to get a 10 right out of the pack. That's going to be crazy. And definitely a Gardevoir fan. That card is for sure up there. That card is for sure up there. But yeah, is anyone doing anything fun after this? I'm probably going to play some Battlefield, mellow out a little bit. And then I need to figure out what I'm going to open up next week. Will it be the Charizard box or will it be breaking open a booster box? No way. You pulled a Sylveon VMAX from Evolving Skies. Nice, dude. Speaking of Evolving Skies, I still need the regular Sylveon V. I keep putting it off. And just putting off Modern in general. Jackson, would a sharp edge card go wild? Like imagine a card with no edging and was sharp in the corners. That's actually a cool thing to get with the sharp cut corners. Gengar Master, how we doing tonight? What's good, brother? Yeah, Sylveon VMAX is fire. We don't talk about Evolving Skies in here. Austin still has trauma from spending everything he had on Evolving Skies and still not getting that Umbreon VMAX. RIP. Jackson, how valuable would it be if you open an official Pokemon card pack and get a Digimon or Yu-Gi-Oh? Nah, that I don't even think anybody would believe that was real. At least I haven't seen anything like that happen because I think it's different. It's different printing companies, right? But you could get a card that was valuable with sharp cut corners. I think there was somebody that had a Celebrations Charizard that had sharp cut corners, like clean cut, square cut, straight from the factory, like perfect. Like you could not do it yourself. And I offered him for it. I was like, dude, if you want to let go of that, like that's actually really cool. I actually want that. I thought it was really cool. I like stuff like that. I'm one of those people that do like the errors. I'm not going to pay an arm and a leg, but like I think that's really, really cool when you get a factory error card because it really just sets it apart from everything else. I'm not insane. I'm just crazy. GameStop Power Pack investments win. Oh, man. Okay, we can... Okay, you want to do this right now? Let's do this right now. Is it worth it to buy into the GameStop Power Packs? Because now you have a chance at stabbing at these cards. And how much do we trust the GameStop Power Pack system? I mean, is it truly randomized? I really want to see more people buying these power packs and succeeding, right? Because I feel like it's a major scam. I want to know more people that legitimately can do it and that it works for them. I would really love to know the inner workings of how they do it. You know, does the card that they buy back, does it go right back in immediately that day, that week, a couple weeks later? Do they have to sell a couple more of their $2,500 packs until they can afford to put a certain card back into the circulation? So we have people in our Discord. He's not in here right now, but Fortress from our Discord, he does the power packs and he got a sick Gengar from it. So, I honestly have nothing but good experiences with Evo Skies. Dude, you're the few and the proud. Jackson, do we know what the first ever Pokemon card was? First printed and cut. So prototype cards, right? It was prototype cards. That whole thing, there was someone that's on my Instagram, Jesse Pang, and I was talking about that in a video, and I probably should have referenced it and referenced his post like a normal human being would on who makes decent and not half-ass YouTube videos. But he was talking about how this guy who got scammed really bad on the prototypes he's still not whole because he dealt in the wrong channels, right? And he didn't deal from buying these directly from a vetted source. He bought it from various individuals, and I guess he got screwed over. And so he's wanting to expose the entire industry for like fraud basically and ruin the hobby. And yeah, that's what prototypes make me think of, is that people got really screwed over and basically realized they would never recover the cards that they traded in to get those cards. Imagine, like, I couldn't stress this enough in the video, but I would be absolutely just devastated if I traded all of my cards for like you said, like trophies, grails, right? Like the prototypes are considered grails to a lot of people. Very historically significant. But if you trade all that in and then realize that you got fraudulent, newly made copies, I think it would drive a person mad, truly. I was joking, don't trust mystery. Well, no, I think the mass consensus, the general consensus is to say the mystery power packs are fraudulent. It's a scam. Don't buy into that. You are not the one. But I like the idea of spicing up this hobby with something that might actually be able to provide value to collectors, and in a way that's maybe more upfront and transparent than other streamers or pack openers or whatnot, people that just rip people off or get mad when they don't get a tip and tear their cards in half. I think it's a much more regulated way to go about it. It's also a way to digitalize the hobby, but also to add value and growth. And I think there's pros to the power packs that people don't want to hear about, but they're there for sure. And I'm totally open to talking about that. The guy that did a lot, that has done a ton of power packs, I forget what his channel is, but he's this really informative dude. I feel ashamed that I don't remember what his channel is. I don't remember half the channels that I watch anymore off the top of my head. But he was addressing the whole power packs thing, and I think I need to go back and watch that video. But I think he was kind of basically talking about how it works and that it is a fairly legitimate thing and that he's had success doing it. So I want to hear the good and I want to hear the bad. What do you guys think about those mystery power packs, though? Are you ever going to do something like that, just the lower tier ones? Does that ever seem like it would be even like remotely something you'd be interested in? Metal, GameStop was so cooked before it pivoted to trading cards. It really was. It really was. And it's still kind of cooked because they never have cards in the shop. Their whole motto now is going to be buying and reselling cards and not even giving people MSRP product consistently. Like, GameStop used to be our savior, used to be my last line of defense. Now I don't even know why I have a membership. I go in and I use my coupon for the month, my $5 coupon. I use it to get a plushie. That's pretty much what I do. Now I will say, they have great plushies. That's where that Torchic came from, and there was a Trico that was up there that I've swapped out for the shiny Rayquaza because my daughter wanted the Trico to go to bed with tonight, which is adorable. She has these phases where she gets really into wanting Pokemon to go to bed with, and I think it's just so cute. Fortress spent $2,000 on power packs. But he had to get some decent value on that. I thought I saw most of his messages in the Discord, but I don't know how much value he actually got back from the power packs. Did he only get that Gengar? Was that the best thing he got out of his power packs? He got something recently that looked interesting. I would really like him to keep a track record and let us know, and I'll reach out to him on the Discord. Imagine an insider with Pokemon card printing that would steal valuable cards off printers and sell to make money. That scandal will go wild. We've had big stuff like that, by the way. We've had people with stacks of the most valuable cards go to try and sell them. Hilarious. He's barely at break even now. And even at break even, you have to sell those cards to get to break even. But I guess if you sell it back to GameStop at 90% and you're at break even, that's a pretty fun way to go about collecting. Well, not collecting, but enjoying the hobby in some respect. Jesse sounds like he's on a cartoon villain arc. Jackson, mystery power packs. Oh no, I bought 40 packs to rip. How high did they go up to 1K? No, they go up to 2,500 now. I believe you guys, somebody said the lunar power packs are 2,500. That is the highest tier. And that gives you the chance to pull like a $30,000 card. Meds, how we doing? Goblin, I feel that. Would a dope B-Day Christmas gift be a Pokemon trainer card you like? A custom-made image you as a trainer. That could be interesting. Thoughtful. And it's the thought that counts, right? It wouldn't really be my cup of tea, but I think it's dope when like people make like AI versions of me as a trainer or a YouTuber. I love that kind of crap. I eat that shit up. BT, I'm so vain. BT, Orion, what's your favorite set from Scarlet Violet? Scarlet Violet, I feel like 151 is like the quickest answer. I did pause there. I thought about Destined Rivals. I thought about sets like Paldea Evolved. I'm going to go with 151. We had a lot of fun with 151. I'm the most sentimental to it. And damn, I had a lot of that product. We had a good run. I used my $5 coupon on Iono deck boxes. Damn it. I didn't even think about that. Not bad. Do you miss the days of, even though I don't even think they would have that, honestly, in my shops. I think the plushies are the way to go. If you got to use the coupon, and I need to actually go to GameStop this month to use the coupon. Do you miss the days of playground rumors of Pikablue or Mew under the truck and all these things because the internet wasn't so big, so we couldn't verify? Yeah, I miss the old days for a lot of reasons. Because I am still a kid inside, and I think we all are to some extent. And I'm one of those people that's the whole point of like what I'm doing now is really to heal my childhood, right? I can't think of any other reason why I've gone down this rabbit hole. Michael Ferguson, hey man, I'm the dude who commented on your Insta about my OG Charizard I had years ago. Nice, hell yeah. TBC, I just bought a Fusion and Brilliant box. Very nice, very nice. I hope you're satisfied with your purchase. I hope everything goes smoothly. Anthony, how do you feel about the 30th anniversary using the same stamp logo and only changing the numbers on the cheeks? At least for English. I like that. I like that there's going to be some continuity. I also think that that's going to add value to the prior celebration set. Do you guys think that we're going to get another gold star? Are we going to get another gold star? What's Greninja doing right now? Did Gold Star Greninja, I think it went back down to Earth, but I think it's still higher than it has ever been. But it's not like $400 or $500 for Gold Star Greninja in a 10. It's like $250 or $280 or $300. Definitely interested on where that guy's at. Imagine somebody paid for their tab with a PSA Charizard. That would be incredible. That would be one of the wildest stories of my dreams. If someone came in with like a vintage PSA 10 Charizard, racked up an insane tab, and then paid me with that card, I would 100% be in the green. In fact, in the future, if people came to my bar and just came with like slabs and cashed out on drinks with slabs, I would 100% do that because it would be profitable for me. It would 1000% be profitable for me. Because the stuff that I'm getting, it costs, our prices, there's so much profit margin. Guys, That's another thing. I've been buying these crazier cards, and I keep saying I'm going to slow down. And I really need to slow down, but I don't because I keep making more and more money at the bar. And like, it's gotten to a point where on a Monday night for karaoke, I made $160 cash. That's not even my credit tips. My credit tips were like $80, right? That's a lot of money to just get in cash for the night, that you can put right back into the hobby, right? It's quick, easy, highly liquid, and the bar is growing, and so I'm betting on myself that the business is going to continue to grow and thrive, and that will allow me to continue collecting the cards that I'm collecting, even if things trend down or the market drops. I'm very, very fortunate. I'm very fortunate. I think we like to return to our childhood through Pokemon, a time of life that was magical. I just remember road trips to my grandma's. Not flights. I remember long flights. Someone at Collecticon tried selling slabs at my friend's booth that they got as payment for yard work. Oh, that's so great. I would so do that. I also am curious what's going to happen when my sister and my son get a little older and they're going to be at some age, people around them, maybe not them, will be interested in Pokemon, I imagine. And they'll be like, my dad's like the Pokemon Don. And like, then I'm going to be selling Pokemon to everybody at the school. And our kid's about to be going to a very, like, I feel like a very bougie school in this area. It has like a perfect, like 10 out of 10 rating. So that might mean that kids don't do Pokemon at all. Or it might mean that they're going to eat up Pokemon. And it's going to be the talk of the town, right? That would be interesting. I would much rather my kids be proud of me as a collector than be like, oh, my dad's like obsessed with Pokemon cards. So that'll be really interesting to see how they grow up and deal with that. But is the bar business lucrative and easy to start up? Nothing is easy about the bar. And if you can't do the work yourself, then don't even think about it. In my opinion, it's much harder and more costly to staff people full time. I am the head bartender. I work almost 6 days a week. I work over 40 hours every week. Boom, boom. I clean. I do all of the labor around the bar and the mechanics. Like, I fix the ice machine. Our draft line, I clean all the draft lines. That costs about $120 every 2 weeks, $240 a month just in draft cleaning. I do that myself. It saves us $240 a month. The soda gun can have issue. All the lines can have issues. The CO2 tanks, the draft line equipment itself can have issues. The coolers can have issues. Everything has its drawbacks. The energy use, the liability, getting sued, someone drinking too much, altercations, getting into it with people that get too drunk or that were already drunk coming in. There's shit like occasionally you're going to have to clean up piss off the floor or on the toilet seat. One time I had to clean human feces. I have had to do some crazy stuff in the bar. But for the most part, it is highly lucrative. And now that I've got it going, it's pretty easy. And they've updated a lot of the inventory features. So now I do my ordering off of my phone. Before I dealt old school with all the different reps. And now I don't have to do that. So I'm just tap, 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 tap. Except it's more like 3 hours of tapping stuff that I want to order for the bar. Also, I price stuff a little bit higher than everybody else in the area, and no one seems to care. We sell PBRs for $5, guys. So I don't need to scalp in Pokemon. I don't need to do crazy shit in Pokemon because we make enough money as a business. So, also, I like higher prices. I think it keeps people from getting too drunk too quick, spending money too fast. Thoughts on Pawn Stars having a Pokemon guy come in with a very valuable Charizard collection, getting valued, then getting declined solely because they don't get Pokemon. That was super, super old. That's an old episode. They would never do that now. In fact, Chum Lee was like is super big into Pokemon, by the way. I have a 9-year-old, and I'm pretty sure the dad is dead. I have a 9-year-old, RIP. I have a 9-year-old cousin that absolutely freak out when they see the Lovebirds PSA 10. Yeah, yeah. I had a friend of mine just say that you're not a true collector if you're collecting that card. And it really broke my heart because I'm like, I still like that card. Are you saying I'm not a real collector? But I knew like it's not personal. It's just he's like really into vintage right now. So he like doesn't collect modern at all. But he had that card at one point. So I thought that was a little like, but you own this. Now you're going to say that no one's a real collector if they don't have it. That was a little odd. But I feel like I'm going through that with a lot of my good friends right now where like, we're so heavy into this hobby that sometimes we butt heads just because we're like so into like our collection goals and what we're doing and like I don't know. It's I want to stay better connected with my friends and let them know that like and any of you watching, if you are my friends and you're watching this or you're in the Discord, it's not all about this hobby. If you want to ask me anything about real life or questions in general, you can always DM me on Instagram, on Discord. That's why we do these streams too. People can ask questions, whatever. Turtle Gary, the seller, did that as publicity stunt. Yeah, that was great. Michael, gotta respect the grind. Tuscan, I'm done with grading. Yeah, dude, like honestly, sometimes I'm like, I wish I could just be a full-time YouTuber, but it's not hard. Even the guys that are doing YouTube full-time might be easy to them now. They've gotten so used to it, but as an introverted person, I'm burning the candle at both ends, right? It takes a lot out of me to make videos or do streams. It takes a lot out of me to talk with people every day. You know what the hardest part of running a bar is? Talking to people over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's draining. It's so draining. But what I will tell you what was cool was they respect how nerdy I am. They like fuck with it. Like the reason I got really good tips on Monday is because I was like, guys, I just bought a $13,000 Pokemon card and I had no business buying it. Please support me. And it's like, I don't expect anybody to pay for my stuff. But basically I was letting them know that like, and I never ask people to tip me well at the bar. I get tipped well because I work hard when I'm there. And I'm a great customer service person. And the customer is pretty much always right. So if you start there, then you're good. But basically I was like, guys, I bought a really expensive card. It's not like I just bought an expensive watch or shoes or a car. I bought something nerdy and cool. So if you feel like supporting me a little more tonight, that would be cool. And dude, it's awesome to see people support me in that way. And the bar is finally really producing. So now it's doing well. Took 4 years for the bar to take off. And again, it's not even a bar, it's a venue for all kinds of events. We do karaoke, comedy, open mic for musicians. We just started a music trivia night on Thursday to replace our drag shows. This is really interesting, guys. This is really cool. And not trying to make anybody jealous here. My wife's gonna kill me. No, Diana knows everything that we have going on at the venue. But we have a high-class stripper pole showcase on Friday. Okay, what do I mean by that? They're not really strippers. They're like professional pole dancers. Okay, so bear with me. They don't have all their clothes on, but they also aren't completely naked. So we're setting up a pole in the middle of our venue, and then we're going to have rows of chairs. We're going to restructure the whole place for this event. We do it every year, every couple months. And these girls will perform on a pole, and they already have an audience, and we're sold out already. And people like come in like suits and shit. Like people aren't just like, it's not like a strip club. It's not like nasty, sleazy, and weird. It's like highly respected pole dancers with a clientele that is all over it and wants it to be a bougie thing. I get to work that on Friday. So while I feel bad for myself some days, There are other days where I'm like, I work and it's like a party in there. It's barely work. So I have it good. I'm lucky. And I enjoy it. But yeah, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy. And all of those pole dancers get cash. So I know that I'm going to get a ton of cash on Friday night. So I'm really excited for that. Tuscan, yo, how we doing? Oh no, I already know something's wrong, bud. I'm done with grading. It's okay, buddy. We all go through that phase where we're like, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. I know it's tough out there. You're not the only one. You're not the only one. Metal, oh hell no. I did my bartending early 20s, never again. At that age, I did not like dealing with drinkers. So we're in a niche area and we're surrounded by high-end developments. We're not even on a main road. We're on a side street in the fucking cut. You have to know about our venue to even be there. So I feel like we're very protected with that. Like my clientele are mostly like my friends and neighbors in the area, and they respect me. I respect them. It's a really good thing we got going on right now. And I do have to deal occasionally with, a drunk person that's pissing me off, but it's rarer. It's rare at my place than it is at other places. Clean up vomit at the bar? Absolutely. I've cleaned up vomit a couple times at the bar. Is it that hard to just hit the toilet? Is it that hard? Like they always get close and it gets all over the floor. But human feces has by far been the most degrading, debilitating thing that I've had to clean up. That night changed my whole outlook on running the place because I was like, if this is happening now, this is going to happen again. Like, has not happened in a very long time. But yeah, I've had some pretty horrific nights there. But I would take it over pretty much anything else right now. Also, it's all I know. I don't know how to do anything else. Like, I didn't continue on with my education. I didn't continue on in finance. I do a little bit of stock stuff and Robinhood. I'm no guru. Bartending is what I know. And running the bar is what I know. Running the venue. I got to stop calling it a bar because it's more than that. Billy, just tuning in on my way to work. Let's go. Congrats on your amazing ghost you got today. Yeah, I appreciate that, Billy. Billy has been one of my good pals and friends, and we're probably going to work some big deals in the future. But he has kind of pushed me and been some positive reinforcement in terms of like, hey man, if you love the cards, go for it. Don't necessarily think too much about what the market's going to do if you feel good about it. You've trusted your gut in the past, trust your gut now, do your thing. And so I'm very grateful to have Billy as a friend, and I appreciate you popping out, Billy. Trader, Tuscan, I'm going to stick to raw cards and binders. I'm done with friggin' PSA BS. Yeah, it can be tough. It can be tough, man. You do you. Metal, do you or friends have a hard time selling cards you like since you're collecting? But I hate selling. I can't stand it. It becomes naturally a part of collecting. You get out of certain cards to get in new cards, or sometimes you're like, whew, I sold that card. I didn't like it. I didn't like its condition. Someone else values it more than me. That's great. But I hate it. And I think it also makes me a little bit cynical and negative towards people that do primarily invest and sell Pokemon. That's their whole life, vendors. But I need to get over that because everyone's just trying to make it out here. Don't hate on another man's hustle. Like, don't hate the player, hate the game. But yeah, it's tough. I have a hard time letting go of stuff. What Pokemon would be the best bartender? Ooh, Pokemon that would be the best bartender. I feel like Pokemon that would be the best bartender, probably Alakazam, bro. Because Alakazam could just be shaking up cocktails and flipping shit, and he would just be standing there with his freaking spoons bent, just like staring at you. And there's like cocktails flying around and everything. So I'm gonna go with Alakazam, or really like any psychic type would be a crazy good bartender. For some reason, Hitmonchan came to my head And I don't think that would work out so well because he has boxing gloves for hands, basically. Jigglypuff is the best karaoke. Jigglypuff is 1000% best karaoke for sure. I fuck with Jigglypuff. I don't know why I like Jigglypuff so much. And like Clefairy, Jigglypuff, Chansey, they're all growing on me. I wish I knew why. I just want to know why I like some of these Pokemon. I just like some of them. I like the pink. Yeah, what would be the best? The best drinker would probably be Snorlax. We'll throw him with the eater too. Drunk karaoke singer, that'd be great. You look like you could be Scott in the Waz's alt style, bro. I appreciate that, I guess. Yep, being a bartender when I was younger taught me customer service transferred soft skills into future jobs. Dude, customer service is like, if you understand that fundamental basic thing, you can crush every single interaction. They need to feel like they are kings, queens when they come into the venue. Don't put your bullshit on them. Don't put your emotional shit on them. Sometimes I will trauma dump to people in the bar, but only once I've gotten close with them or they're our regulars. They know like we can talk about anything. And I feel lucky about that too, because your mental health and having like a support system is really important. And I get to do that because I run a bar, a venue. I gotta stop calling it a bar. I just feel like a bar is like layman's terms, and it's just easier for people to understand what I deal with. But it's so much more than that. Really a place for a community. But I feel like I can talk to people on a daily basis, and that's really good for me. Again, still draining though. Dude, that'd be sick. You should put a jar with a Pokeball, Pokemon card fund. Holy fucking shit. Jackson, you're a goddamn genius. I think this man just changed the game for me. I just figured out what I'm going to do now. I need to get a piggy bank style Pokeball with like a little slot in it for cash and stuff. Maybe even a clear one. I'm sure they have that on Amazon. I'm sure there's tons of stuff like that. I need to get that. Pokemon card fund. Holy shit, that's a phenomenal idea. That is a phenomenal idea. I love it. I love it. I'm running with it. Turtle, you know, I was considering flying out to Charlotte for that Umbreon card. Now I hear you've got a pole dancer night. Friday night, my man. Friday night. There is a cover, though. We usually don't have covers, but for stuff like that, gotta have a cover. Field of Vision. If your house was burning, which item would you save from your collection? Well, assuming that my children are okay, because that should be my first thought. Let's not forget about Diana. I mean, she's cool too. Just the sheer amount of money I've had in Pokemon, I would have to make sure that I get this briefcase. If we're saying one single item, I'm sorry. We can't do that. This is fireproof, right? I would 100% put myself in ridiculous amount of harm's way to retrieve this in my burning house. I would 1000% do it. I know me. I wouldn't be able to live the rest of my life thinking that something of this much value just like burned up. All of the nights that I've sweat my butt off serving drinks, all the stuff that I've cleaned up, all of the planning and discipline to accumulate and acquire all this stuff, I would go nuts if it burned down in my house. I would lose it. And it's something that I need to think about in the future. Maybe, getting a fireproof, really bulletproof, fireproof safe and putting it in the game room. I feel like every big PokeTuber has a nice safe in their game room that they keep stuff in. I didn't think I was going to get to that point. I like to just know I'm in a safe neighborhood, but there's crazy stuff that's happened to people's collections. People have robbed people. We've seen this happen in the hobby. Dude, Machamp, best bartender. You got it. You just hit the nail on the head. Billy, Machamp would be the best bartender. Expedition Gengar for sure. Michael Ferguson, what's your top 3 gold stars? Rayquaza, boom, number 1. And I'm just go ahead and say gold star Pikachu, number 2. Number 3 is very difficult. There's a lot of great choices in there. A lot of great choices in there. But it's another Hold-On Phantoms card. It's either the Mewtwo or the Gyarados, and I think I'm going to go with the Gyarados. So I'm going to say Rayquaza, Pikachu, and Gyarados. If you have to get gold stars, those are the 3 gold stars that I would 100% focus on. They're amazing. Doctor, how we doing? Finally got alive. I appreciate you still have the classic profile picture where you guys made me a woman. That's solid. I'm loving to see that. Also, dude, he's wild. But I love that he's keeping it going, honestly. It's going to keep me humble for forever. No, I really love it. I love it. All right, we're an hour and a half in. I promised Diana it would only be an hour tonight. So I do got to get out of here, guys. 10 minutes. I know insurance on cards is a thing. 10 minutes. 10 minutes for whatever. Okay. Number 1 food you eat when you're hungover. Like, what's the number 1 thing that you go for when you're hungover? Or just super late at night, you're starving, you got to get your fix. What fast food joint are you going out to? Please don't be generic and all say pizza. That's my question of the night, and then we could talk about anything else. But I always love ending, if I can end on something fun. I like that you put saving your family for your Pokemon collection. Right? What kind of psychopath? The kids, are the cards okay? Jackson, oh man. Would be there sad grieving if all your cards burned up in that hypothetical fire. Oh, dude. Oh, dude. I have no idea how I would even continue. Like, I'm pretty sure I would just drop off the face of the earth on YouTube. Like, I would definitely make videos talking about the whole thing, and I would get some sympathy for that, right? But no one's sympathy, nothing would fill that void of just losing everything after all these years. Like, bro, I've lost time with my family, right? Like, making deals privately for cards, spending like hours and like negotiating stuff, not being as present with my family, not being as present at work, like, which I'm grateful that my work is so flexible that I can sit there making deals and sending offers. Guys, that's how I've accumulated a lot of this. Is during the day I mess around all day, I'm with my family, that's great, and then at night I'm working, but I'm also on my phone scrolling, window shopping. That's like, I'm like, how do people keep up with this hobby without having time on the side to do it? Yeah, I don't think I could ever make up for all that time. It would be time, honestly, just as much as money value. Like, Michael, have both a Pico and Rayquaza on their way right now. No way. No way, nice. I had a fire alarm at my apartment twice, and both times I spent a minute or two throwing cards and slabs in a duffel bag. I didn't know if it was faulty, so if it was real, I might die. Raising Cane's? Okay, we got a Raising Cane's. Lay's dill pickle. Bro, the dill pickle chips slap. They slap. And a Jersey Mike's sub. Okay. Doctor, I know your guilty pleasure is a Jersey Mike's sub. Please, no disrespect to her. No disrespect. Guillermo, a kebab shop near any tube station. A kebab shop, okay. Can't remember the last time I had a kebab. Why do you play with cards instead of me? Your stocks, your college fund. Just admire, don't touch. I love you. Oh my God. Jackson just hit what I think most of us are like in a nutshell with kids and with this hobby and with Pokemon. Oh my God. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's really hard to be present playing Barbie. Let me tell you. I got to get in the zone. Once I'm in the zone, you can't take me out, all right? Like, Barbie, we got tea time, we got a sleepover, we got stuff going on, okay? Mommy, don't interrupt right now. But yeah, just that day to day, that distraction. I definitely feel guilty for that with this hobby. And if you don't have kids, you can't understand. But you feel like you're never there enough for your kids. And I think that's a healthy thing and it's a good thing to be conscientious about, but it also sucks. I definitely feel guilty a lot for how heavily involved I am in this hobby while having two kids. And, my daughter's 4 now and my son just turned 1. So, he's getting older too. It's not just her, it's now both of them and trying to be present with them when they're playing and doing stuff. And sometimes it takes Diana snapping at me and being like, "Dude, put your phone down. Stop looking at cards. Don't look at any of that stuff." And I'm like, "You're right. I'm sorry. I have my head in the sand. I need to set this stuff down. It doesn't matter." So, yeah. To be real, it's hard. It's really hard. And it's not the hobby's fault. It's my fault. I'm just super impulsive and obsessive. I worked at Barbie animated shows. I legit did sound editing for some episodes officially on YouTube. That's crazy. Billy, I would have a Pidgeot fly to the sea nearby and fetch me fresh cold lobster and then sear it until perfection. Well, you would have him fetch you a fresh cold corefish, probably. Corefish, I imagine, would be the equivalent to having a lobster. Or you could have Pidgeot fetch you a Krabby. Be fire. That'd be some fire. Be some fire meat right there. That's beautiful. I love that. Jackson, I love how you put the Pokemon spin on the late night snack. That's beautiful. You missed it, Billy, but I was talking in the beginning about all of that, and we've talked about this before about the live action, like the realistic AI reels that we see on Instagram for Pokemon, and like the future of Pokemon is very bright because there are so many creators creating stuff that's not even official Pokemon stuff, just pushing the franchise further. Would you choose to have kids later if you could have, hypothetically? No, because I still want some. No, because you know what? I still want some semblance of me being a kid and having energy and being somewhat youthful while I have my kids, right? I honestly don't know how people can do it having kids later. You're going to be older, you're going to be tired. I'm already tired. Then again, I work a pretty physically taxing job. Like I'm always on my feet every day, well, every night. Planned a little bit better, pushed out maybe a year or two. Yeah, now that could have been like the perfect timing. But there's no perfect time. Now I know exactly what I'm headed into if we were to have another kid. And if I didn't have kids sooner, I wouldn't have been motivated for any of the stuff that's in my life right now. I did not have the kind of drive that I have now with kids. Knowing that you have to feed those mouths and provide for a whole family, that's some shit to take pride in, and that's some shit that like it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be able to do it. And it's like easy to whine about it. Oh, I got to pay all the bills and the groceries and whatever. But I'm lucky that I get to feel man enough to be a provider, to provide for them and put food on the table and pay those bills and them know and have the confidence that they don't even have to think about it. It's going to happen. I'm very fucking proud of that. And that's some real shit right there. So having kids, like when we had Aspen, I lived in a little bit of a haze of like ignorance for the first year probably before she was born, like the first, I guess you could say 9 months. But then when we had her, it really hit that like you need to switch gears, bro, and you need to really become a provider. And if that means day and night in your bar, if that means spending an extra day when you guys used to be closed to be open so you can make more money, which is what we did. We were closed on Mondays. Now we're open every day of the week, 7 days a week, and Monday is one of our highest producing days for karaoke. And I did that. It's like I feel really good about the sacrifices I made. Anyways, sorry guys, fucking going off. Magikarp fried with a bit of lemon. Dude, that'd be gas. That'd be gas. I wonder how Gyarados would taste. Probably very gamey, very like muscly, chewy. Michael Friesen, I know the feeling. Always important to check yourself and remember what's truly valuable in life. Especially if you get sick or ill, you like realize none of this shit matters. You're like, fuck a Pokemon card. I just hope I make it through this fucking 3 weeks of my throat feels like swallowing glass shards. I had something bad this year, y'all. And y'all remember every live I was like kind of like wheezing a little bit. Like I was laughing hysterically because I was so like fucked up with a respiratory thing. But yeah, that makes you really put things in perspective. Is 35 too old? No, 35 is still super young. I'm not 35 or close, but 35 I would say is even near like perfect, what probably most people strive for, 35, 40 years old. I think more of a concern for women than men, but Royinson, life is hard. Life is hard. But wouldn't be fun if it wasn't, right? Wouldn't be good without a little bit of challenge. You should learn the Pokemon rap and do a karaoke night. Yeah, no, I was fucked up. I had a respiratory thing for like 3 weeks, and like I never get sick, so I thought I was gonna get pretty bad. There's always hundreds of problems in life. When health is a problem, there is only one. Damn straight. Very random, but out of curiosity, what were your thoughts on Jesus? So. By blood, I'm Jewish, but I believe in the universe. I believe in God. Me and my wife don't fully agree on that. Diana's family was raised very differently, and I think I don't mind that at all. Honestly, it's not like they're against anything like that. Really, they're not really into it, which is kind of fine because my family was never like super religious either. We celebrated the Jewish holidays. Kind of normally. We went to temple a couple times, but we weren't like Orthodox Jews. But I believe in karma. I believe in trying to do the right thing for the most part, even when no one's looking. And I believe that is so much harder to do than people make it seem to do. And I kind of feel like this life is just going to be a segment into the next, but not to get too spiritual. I usually avoid politics, but I won't avoid, spiritualism and, being religious to some extent. Because I think while a lot of the stuff that I have is the fruits of my labor, which I think you should, party hard and work hard, party harder. But I also think that there's a reason for everything. I believe in fate. And so with that being said, we'll end on that note that, I believe there's something bigger working out there. And, if you love yourself and you try to spread love around you and care about people and genuinely care about people, which can be a hard thing to do, right? Do right by others, you're going to have a good life. And you're going to sleep better at night. And I sleep pretty damn good. I'll tell you what. I guess it just depends on your goals, right? Kids to slow you down if you have something going on already, like building business. I will say, people don't want to say this, but kids are a burden in some sense. They are a burden. They will take your time, attention, and focus, and you need to give that up. And that can take away from building your business. It's partly why we're coasting with the venue right now. We're not trying to make it better and doing more and adding more stuff and revolutionizing our business because it could be probably twice as profitable as it is. We're not even getting started yet. But, we have kids. It's running. It's smooth. We're coasting. I think it works for us, but I think it is really hard for most people to just drop the ball on everything they're doing. And when you are building a business, kids shouldn't be in the mix of that because you need to give them an incredible life. And you can't do that if you're not building the life that you dream of yourself. So Tell Diana you're very sorry you went over time, but don't worry, you're making Poke dollars. I don't make anything off of these streams, by the way. If anybody thinks that, like, people think that. They think I make money on every video, like pennies on the dollar, like nothing really. You have to make consistently good streams and videos that are thousands of views for you to even turn a dime. So if that's happening, then yes, I am making money doing it. But if it's just casual and I'm like putting out stuff a couple times a week, not editing too crazy, I don't know, maybe like 200, 300 bucks a month max, like $10 a day maybe. At my point in life, it's not even worth making a video for 10 bucks a day, other than the fact that I might enjoy it, or I might have something that I want to talk to you guys about. Anyways, that being said, we're getting pokey pennies. We're out here getting them pokey pennies. I would say selling on eBay, selling in general is a better way to actually make money in this hobby than making content. But making content is a way you grow with your community. God damn it, Turtle. Okay, I don't need you. I don't need your sympathy. All right. God damn it. Thank you. Fuck, that was a lot of money, dude. Damn, you must be killing it with the grading right now. Jesus, $20, dude. You bless me. I am gonna tell Diana that. Yeah, the homies took care of it. Yeah, happy holidays to everybody. I appreciate you guys. And as always, there is a Discord in the link below. If you want to join the Discord, please feel free to join the Discord. We have about 336 members and counting right now. I'm pretty fucking stoked about that because it started from nothing. And I'm not even a big channel, so it's pretty awesome that we have our own Discord group, which hopefully will grow into a bigger and bigger group where people can make deals. We can give each other, we can all be references for each other, and people can buy cards, sell cards there, and trust each other. Oh, Jesus. Are you kidding me right now? Are you fucking kidding me right now, bro? $14, bro. On top of that, $34 on a single... Dude, that's crazy, you guys. You guys are fucking blessing me right now. Thank you, Jackson. I appreciate that. I seriously appreciate that. You guys are the fucking homies. Definitely hit those like buttons on that, dude. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate that. My time isn't even worth that much, right? It's really not worth that much. You know what? Oh my fucking God, dude, get out of here. Get the fuck... Bro, I'm done. I'm done with you guys. I can't right now. Dude, what? Damn, I just exposed myself. I'm wearing my PJs right now. Did I even believe my eyes? Put my glasses back on. Is this real? 35... Dude, what the bro, you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy, dude. I'm super lucky. I'm super lucky to have this community. I'm super lucky. You know, okay, so better PJs than nothing. Surprise! Thanks for the super chat. You might get more than you paid for. Oh, man. We're go-goated in here. Fuck, you guys are awesome. Okay, with those funds, we definitely, that definitely pays for breaking a box right there. That's like almost the cost of like half of a box back when the boxes were cheap. So we'll either do that or I'm going to just scour a Target and Walmart and see if I can find anything there to buy for next week's stream. Because we got to do some openings. If you guys are donating, we got to do some openings. We got to make it worth your time. Now, Sim, any good Chase in Paradise Dragona and Heatwave Arena? It's my first time opening this pack. I think there might be some decent stuff in there. I can't remember off the top of my head. Those are the Japanese counterparts. Okay, TMI. Apparently, Jackson's got a rocket from Rocket. Seriously, guys, join the Discord, become a part of this community, And I will catch you guys out next week. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark. Diana's gonna give me the stinky eye soon. I'll catch you guys next week, Wednesday night. And if you see anything that you want me to talk about in the Discord, put it in. I'll make a video on it tomorrow. I appreciate you guys. And good night, everybody. I really appreciate you guys. It's hard to walk away right now. I feel like if I start twerking, someone's gonna donate $100. So I'm not opposed to it. I got a lot of junk in the trunk. Anyways, peace out, everybody. I'll catch you guys next stream, and hopefully we'll have some cool stuff to open up. Peace. And thank you guys also for kind of like at the bar, basically tipping me out so that I can make shit like this happen. Because yeah, I'm hella stressed out about it. But we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. I got this. Anyways, peace.